met last July in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Auxiliaries and Ministry meeting. It's an annual youth meeting we have every year with our church.
When we went to the AIM convention, I actually went to the AIM convention with one of my best friends, and we were walking through a hotel randomly, and we saw her standing on the wall. So when we saw her standing on the wall, she was kind of looking at us, and I continued to walk with my buddy, and he was like, "Hey Doc," he was like, "I think that girl was checking you out." He was like, "You need to go back." He was like, "You need to go back and holler at her." So we just kept walking and we didn't go back. And we ran into another guy. He was campaigning for the same event that she was campaigning for. We ended up voting for the other guy. We came back out and we started talking to LaToija. So we went over, introduced ourselves, and basically we started talking and we just had a good conversation, very short. I walked away and I walked away with my best friend. He was like, "Doc, you should have got her information. You should have got her number." So then I was like, "You know what, you're right." So I turned around and I went back and I ended up asking her for her Facebook contact. And that's how we got in contact, and we pretty much started talking from there. Then we developed a friendship and it went from there. How did I know that she was the one for me? That's a very great question. The way that happened, it was actually a God moment. And of course, I had been praying for the particular characteristics of a wife. And my mom and father, they always raised us in the fear of God to, make sure that we pray. And they had always prayed that prayer, let us get a saved companion and make sure that they love God more than they love us. And so I prayed about it, and like she said, we began to really communicate and talk a whole lot. We have these church conventions that we go to several times throughout the year. We have the men's convention, the women's convention, the youth convention, and then Holy Convocation. At this time, Holy Convocation was coming up, which is probably the biggest convention of the year. Mm-hmm. And that was taking place in Memphis, Tennessee at the time. And is that right?
No, St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay. St. Louis. It was in Memphis the prior year. Mm-hmm. So it was in St. Louis, and actually what happened was I definitely knew that I was feeling her. I knew I liked her and all that, but I had kind of written it off because I was like, it's long distance, 18 hours away. I was like, this is not going to work. So I was like, man, but she's such a great woman. I was like, this could be good. I was like, it's just terrible because I had done long distance before. And one Sunday morning, I went to church and I was singing in the choir. And my pastor had got up and he was preaching, we'll just say about finances. And he was up preaching about finances, and he had gotten this vein, and he was just like, God just dropped something in my spirit. And he began to prophesy to the singles that were in the room. And we have multiple services, and this was the only service he did this prophecy at because I go through several of them because I'm in ministry. And he said that there were some saved singles in the room at that point. He's like, and they had been believing God for a mate. He said, and you don't know who your mate is right now. He said, but God is going to reveal your mate to you, and by this time next year, you'll be engaged. And at that moment, I immediately lifted my hands up. I received the prophecy. And then God spoke to me very clearly. He said, LaToija is going to be your wife. So
I definitely had a God moment also. I actually was, I guess, in denial too, because I kept saying the distance. I just didn't see how it would work, and not knowing that, of course, God knows what he's doing at all times. So we would have conversations, and as we started to, it was getting closer to, he asked me to be his girlfriend in December 26th. This was probably early December, and we were just having this conversation. He said, have you ever heard God's voice audibly? And I said, yes, I have. And I told him what he told me. And I said, have you? He said, yes. And I said, well, what did he say? He said, yeah, the pastor was ministering to the singles, but I can't tell you right now. So I was like, it's about me. Immediately I felt like it was about me. And I was like, I think I'm talking to my husband. I was saying it to myself. And but still lingering thoughts of the distance. So when he actually asked me to be his girlfriend, I said, let me pray about it. And he thought that was overkill, but I knew I didn't want to date anymore. I wanted to be with the one.
Right. Can I interject though? I thought it was overkill. I thought it was good that she wanted to pray, but I felt like I wasn't asking her to be my wife at the time. Right. Even though I knew what God had said, I wasn't asking her to be my wife. So I was like, we gotta pray to date.
Because I didn't want a break in time. When he asked me, I wanted to know to just say yes. I didn't want him to say we be my wife and then say, well, let me pray about it. I just wanted to know going in. So that was my stance. So anyway, I was on my way to Thailand when he asked me. I was flying out the next day for this school trip. And I said, well, Lord, I really want to know because I feel like he's a very quality person. And he fit the Boaz that I have been praying for. So I was just on the plane meditating and praying. And I started just opening up my Bible, and he led me to Exodus, the 5th chapter. And it was saying how a husband is to love his wife as Christ loves the church. And as soon as I read that passage, he said, that's the kind of husband Derrick will be to you. And I just started crying. And my friend thought I was jet lagged or just getting homesick already. She said, well, what's wrong? And I said, I don't think you'll quite understand, but I received a word that I've been waiting for. And so I couldn't get in contact with him via phone. It was so complicated right away. But then I sent him an email as soon as I landed. And I told him yes.
The way that I decided to propose, like she was saying, when I asked her to be my girlfriend, I already knew that she was going to be my wife. So it wasn't like I was going into this blindly. Even when we met up at the Holy Convocation, I knew she was going to be my wife. She didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know.
But I knew what was going on. So once we got into the relationship, we began to fall in love, and the love began to grow. It was still kind of tough because of distance. So that was rough. But as time went on, I really saw the hand of God on the relationship, and I knew what it was. So I was pretty much set in stone. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I started going ring shopping, looking at different rings and things like that. And also it was different. It was several other ways God actually confirmed, which I was like was cool because once he told me the first time, I got it the first time. But he actually continued to confirm and really let me know. And then how she fit in with my family. They loved her, which they never loved my girlfriends or the people I dated. So I knew that was different too. And, just everything fit into place. And then even things that were going on with her in Denver, and she got more confirmations on top of it. I just knew it was right. So I went ahead and I bought a ring. And,
when did you buy the ring? I want to know.
When did I buy the ring? I bought the ring around February, March.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought the ring around February or March.
Okay.
And I decided to propose at the same convention that we met at, which was that summer. And that happened to be in Texas, Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Had I had any idea about the proposal, I had an inkling because I felt like, this is a year, so it was significant. But I didn't want to spoil it by starting to get too inquisitive. So I just said, well, I'm just going to go and enjoy his company, and we'll have a week together. So I am in this thing called the Gathering Place, and we get together after church. It's like a youth after hours get together, singing, shouting, all that kind of thing. So he was acting really funny because I told him that I wanted him to give a mini sermon. He was like, you do? Okay, I'm going to do it tonight. And he backed out like 3 nights. So I was like, what is going on? So then I said, well, Friday night is the last night. So you have to do this. I signed you up. You can't get out of it. And he was like, okay. So then I said, well, maybe he'll propose up there. And I was like, no, maybe not. Maybe it'll be a more private moment. So then when we went to the vendors area that night, the lady stopped me and she said, you all look so happy. How long have you been married? And I said, oh, we're not married. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. She said, oh. And so then I really started thinking, I was like, well, maybe it will happen. I hope it does because we won't see each other for a while. So when he did that night, late that night, I immediately, of course, cried and was very touched and just overwhelmed. And, of course, happily said yes. And I put my ring on Facebook immediately. And my sister and his sister were out in the car waiting. So when I walked out, all I did was like this. And they ran out the car and they hugged me. So it was just an incredible moment. Definitely.
Absolutely. My parents actually met her at the Holy Convocation in St. Louis in the year prior.
Yeah, before we were together.
Before we were even a couple, they met her and they initially liked her. That's like, she seems like a great young lady. They didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with her. I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time because she's so busy working in the church. But the first time they actually got to spend quality time was February of that year.
He never got to meet my father. He talked to him over the phone. But by that time, my dad had gotten really weak and couldn't really interact the way he normally would have. But he first met my mother, I guess May, right? When you came out here for my dad's service. Oh, that's right. Back up. Before we were together. Yeah, November of last year is when they met. And she said he was so kind and patient because he picked us up from the airport. And my mom took us to 4 hotels. And I was so embarrassed. Because the reservations got messed up because we registered through this mass registry. And it got crossed all up. So I was like, Mom, we can't keep him waiting. Like, this is getting ridiculous. But he never, got impatient. He was very kind, and she kept saying how mannerable he was. So she really liked him from the inception. I would say surreal. He just sent me a BBM for Thanksgiving. He was like, I just can't believe after all these years what I was looking for, I actually found it. And I feel the same way. Just very eager, excited. Some nervousness because it's new, but I know because we love each other and God is our guide that we'll be fine. But yeah, very excited.
With me, I pretty much feel the same way. It's surreal. And it's just amazing. I'm in really awe because it's like, you expect this to happen, but the fact that it's actually happening and in 5 months. Because, like, I remember when it was like a year and she was like, oh, it's going to go quick or whatever. And I was like, a year's a long time. That's far away. And now it's like down to 5 months. That's crazy to me. So it's really cool. I'm very excited. And then things are just coming together and it's making it more real, like the video shoot, like the photo shoot. We're even doing marriage counseling, and that's been going great with my pastor. And yeah, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous.
So you're not nervous?
I'm not nervous at all.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know. I guess that's a good sign, right? I got nervous about that. Did I ask for permission? When I was like, I knew protocol, so I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I was nervous as well too because although I knew the hand of God was on the relationship, I didn't feel like I knew her mom very well. So it was like, I know she likes me, but this is really soon. But at the same time, I believe that her mom saw it coming. I don't think her mom was like blindsided, like, what? Her mom was like, yeah. So we talked, and she was very excited and very supportive, and it was really calming once I talked to her, and it's like I was nervous for no reason. So it just played out perfectly.
I selected Spend My Life With You by Eric Benet. I just think it's very befitting because it's such a newness in our relationship, and I feel like we've done it God's way. It's just going to be fresh, starting off buying a home together and just really taking that step. So that's the song I chose. I'm going to have to teach him how to dance, though. But he's on the conservative side, so we'll see.
Yeah, we wasn't allowed to dance when I came up, so I don't know how to dance. So she's working with me. With the song, a song that I really like that's befitting, I know some of y'all going to say I'm not saved, but a song that's befitting that I really listen to is Usher, Here I Stand. And I really, really like that song for us because it like depicts exactly what we had to go through this whole time, which it talks about the distance and your love remaining constant. So that's a good song that we listen to quite a bit.
He's the kind of guy that will say, hey baby, let's get away, let's go someplace where I don't care.
I want him to surprise me. To extend our sincerest and warmest thanks for coming to share our special day with us. We will never forget it, and we forever appreciate your presence. We love you.
Again, we just want to say thank you for all of the warm wishes that you guys sent. We thank you for your time and your hospitality. We love everyone.
Forever yours, here I stand. Here I stand, baby. You're like a mirror to my soul, but a queen.